Hey, welcome to the Worldline. Nice to share a session on True North. Let's see if this works as it's supposed to. Hi, I'm Brian. I have three objectives for our talk today. One, I'd like to share a tool with you called True North. Two, I'd like to show you the value of that tool. And three, I'd like to give you access to the tool. There's an important thing in this presentation. To get the most out of this talk, I'm going to need you to interact and type things in the chat. Could you start out just by saying hello in the chat? First, an introduction. As I said, my name is Bryan. I'm Bryan Cassady, founder of the Global Entrepreneurship Alliance. I'm on a mission to train 1 million innovators by 2027. To do this, we've written a great book, an even better learning by doing course that has been taught to over 5,000 students. And we also have lots of tools and videos. And arguably the world's most widely recognized innovation certification to give students an extra incentive to do our course. We've recently decided to do a lot more in AI and innovation. AI is something really cool. At the end of this presentation, you'll get an opportunity to download an AI augmented version of the tool they'll present you. Enough about us. I'd like to give you a project. Imagine you'd be given an important new project. The project is to reduce wasted time in meetings at Worldline. Here are the facts now. The average manager spends 14 hours a week in meetings. Well, actually, these aren't really the facts. They're facts that I've made up. 60% of the meetings have no agenda. 40% of the meetings there's no action agreed. And in meetings where action is agreed, almost half the actions are unclear. What I'd like you to do is to try to write a 1 to 2 line project objective for a project kickoff meeting. I don't want you to spend a lot of time with this. Just think about it as I'm talking. Try to put this in the chat and we'll keep on going. I'd like to start this talk with a question. If you were simply given this project and asked to get started, you're likely to deliver less than if you were given specific targets. The fact is, in most company, innovation results and results in a project like this one are negatively correlated with autonomy given to a team. A question for you, why do you think this might be the case? Please write a few reasons into the chat. Here's the simple explanation. In a company like P&G, where I worked, a study was done. They found that top performers were doing the right things right only about 30 to 40% of the time. When people don't know what they're doing or why, they don't do the right things and they don't do things right. When people have clear guidance, they do more of the right things. The good news is when companies get focused on what's important, and typically what's most important is a high degree of customer focus and providing value to customers, autonomy delivers more results. Autonomy and alignment go hand in hand. Alignment first, autonomy second. There is a problem out there. There's an alignment epidemic. Just how big an issue is organizational alignment, or should I say lack of alignment? In a recent study run by PricewaterhouseCoopers, they found that only 55% of middle managers can name even one of the company's top 5 priorities. You need to ask, if people do not know what they're doing or why, how can they do things right? A challenge for you is try to write down all 5 of your company's top 5 strategic priorities. If there's anyone in this group who can do it, I'll be really impressed. You can even try just writing in your own top 5 strategic priorities. Alignment is critical for success. An aligned team can focus their efforts more effectively, can make the right decisions, they can track progress, they can do more of the right things right. Alignment in the end is built on 2 parts. Being able to explain what you want your team to do and being able to choose the right things to do. I'm going to give you a tool to make this easier. This tool is called True North. The power of True North. Identifying and communicating True North effectively can change any organization. Done right, it will help people understand what is right, the story behind why this is right, and know clearly why they should do things. We're going to use an example from my favorite fast food restaurant in the US called Wendy's. You might not know it, but it's not really that important. Here's Wendy's mission statement. Wendy's mission is to deliver superior quality products and services for our customers and communities through leadership, innovation, and partnerships. Imagine you're someone working at the local Wendy's or even headquarters. Would you know what you should do next based on this mission statement? I imagine you could use their mission statement for almost any company. What is their real mission? Their real goal is to stand out in America's fast food market by offering healthier fast food. If they want people to know what to do and do the right things, they need to set commanders' intent. This is an idea built in the military where lack of alignment is not just a downturn in profits, but it can cost people their lives. The basics are find a purpose, the story for the organization, define clearly what you want, and equally clearly what you don't want. Done right, your teams will know what to do next without even asking. We created a tool to make this process easier. This tool is called True North. Our True North is about helping you set commander's intent in any organization by forcing you to be clear. It's a 6-step process. True North is an acronym, just like you used to remember things back in school. For me, there's lots of these. Each letter stands for something important. Let me start with North. The first letter of North is N. N is the narrative. It's the story behind what you're doing. It should include the why and enough content to make the how easier to understand. O is for objective. This is what you want. Be specific. Be clear about what you want. R is about restrictions. What are the things you don't want? T is about tactical constraints and what framework do you need to work? And H is about giving people an idea where to start, where to get inspired. The last step is to summarize this in a truly simple way. Usually this is a headline, something like a headline of a newspaper article that lets people know exactly where you're going. Let's come back to Wendy's and do this step by step. The big story is when consumers are looking for ordinary fast food, they have lots of choices. Wendy's needs to be the choice for healthy fast food. What are they looking for? They want to deliver better and healthier food that is actually healthier and better, and people will talk about it. We often focus all our efforts on what we want. I find identifying what we don't want is often several times more important. When you identify what you don't want, people can focus and do the right things. What Wendy's doesn't want, especially in the US market, is to be classified as health food. Health food for many people in the US is usually no food. Unless you're Apple or Tesla, you probably have some organizational constraints. You can start by defining in what framework you need to work. In this context, Wendy's has an important budgetary issue. Their margin needs to be the same as before. To help people get started, look for some places where people can look for information. They might say, let's get inspired by the Subway Jared campaign. Just for fun, let me show you the Subway Jared campaign. It's about a guy named Jared who lost massive amounts of weight eating Subway sandwiches.
Here's ice.
Only in America. So here we have everything put together. The last thing you need to do is put together a simple headline that captures the essence of your idea. Put this in one line, simple summary. True. In this case, we identified it up front. It's healthy fast food. For just a second, I want you to compare two ways Wendy's might get their team aligned. Which one states it more clearly on what to do? You have your true north with lots of detail, or you have a generic mission statement. I think the answer is obvious. A true north gets companies aligned and pointing in the right direction. Let's go back to the case, the job you were given at the beginning of this talk. I wrote up a true north. This took me about 10 minutes. The story, meetings at Worldline are a part of our culture. They're a place to connect, learn, and make decisions. But they're also a place where we waste a lot of time. And poorly organized meetings lead to frustration and confusion. Better meetings would make everyone happier. Pretty good story. What we'd like to do, and this is something I made up, is have the time we spend in meetings. Go from 14 hours per week to 7 or less and make the meetings more than twice as effective. This means more results in half the time. Restrictions, we're not interested in the following things. We need to keep meetings as a place to make connections. Meetings can't feel like they're all run by German engineers, and meeting preparation should be easier, not harder. Tactical constraints and what framework are we working. We'd like to see real change by December 15, 2023. Change should not be mandated but welcome. Here are 3 places to start. One might be a pitch training session to help people communicate faster and more effectively. There might be rules for meetings or guidelines for meetings. We might require objectives and decisions to be defined before a meeting is set up. Lastly, we want to summarize this all in the simple headline. It's about transforming our meeting culture for enhanced collaboration at Worldline. In practice, I seldom see something this clear. I work with hundreds of companies. The reason they're not this clear is we assume the objectives are clear and we seldom think about including what we don't want in a project. It's easy and can make a big difference. The reason this is important is innovation is a process. We tend to think that innovation is about a big idea where things pop out in the end. But the reality is innovation is a whole process with lots of twists and turns. We need to know where is success. We need to make the right decisions along the way. Project clarity can help in 3 ways. The most obvious one is getting people motivated, but there is also the ability to decide and track. Imagine you presented with 3 ideas. Fun pitch training to help people communicate more effectively, a mandated format for all meetings, or a maximum length for meetings. Which idea is on target according to the True North? Can you put your answer in the chat? Imagine you get 3 progress reports. Which of these are showing that you're going in the right direction? Meeting time is down, but people feel less connected. A test showing pitch training makes meetings more fun. Meetings are canceled because they're too hard to prepare. Again, which one is on track? What you'll find is when your objectives are clear, you're able to get people motivated, you're able to decide, and you're able to track progress. With anything you want to learn, application is key. Learning is not a spectator sport. If you want to learn to ride a bike, you can read all the books in the world about riding a bike. You still wouldn't be able to ride a bike. To learn how to ride, you need to be able to get on a bike and go. If you really want to use a tool like our True North, you need to apply to what you learn. It's simple, it's easy, and I'm going to give you a template that you can use to get started. Also a video which recaps a lot of the things we said in this meeting. Here's some resources for you. There's a True North template, which is a Google Sheet, which you just click on, open it up, you have to save it locally, and then go. There's a True North playlist, which is 7.5 minutes about how to make up a True North. And for those of you who are interested in AI, send me a message. I'm going to give you my contact deals in just a second. We have a new beta version of an AI-enabled True North, which will test whether your ideas are clear and how to improve them. Here's the next steps. If you'd like, check out my new book, Cycles. It has True North plus 28 other tools, www.thecyclesbook.com. If you'd like to follow a test course on pitching, one of the ideas that we presented here, contact Fabrice. If you'd like to connect with me, www.LinkedIn, Bryan Cassady, or my email address. As I said before, if you'd like to try our AI augmented True North, send me a message. Now we've got time for you to ask questions, and I will try to give you answers. Thank you.